tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Markeia McCarty, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah. Woo, there it is. The road to WrestleMania is getting bumpy, according to one Dean Ambrose. And this is the AfterBuzz TV SmackDown After Show. Thank you for coming to hang out with us today. I'm Christy Olsen, and you guys can tweet me at Christy Reports. Follow the whole AfterBuzz TV team at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you for hanging out with us. We are live on YouTube. I do have the live chat rolling. We want to hear from all of you. Please leave a comment, hit that thumbs up button, and let us know what you think about this show, our show, that show. Download us on iTunes. We are on SoundCloud as well, and we would appreciate a 5-star rating, of course, because we are almost as cool as the Dean Ambrose. And when I say we, it's not just me sitting here, people, because, well, that would be a boring and uninformational show. So I asked George and Markeia to be here with me this evening.
I'd pay an hour to hear you talk about wrestling.
Oh, that's so sweet. But you know I need you.
Yeah, no.
So tell everybody where to hit you up at.
You can hit me up on the Twitter and you can hit me up on the Twitter. You can like my pictures on Instagram at Hermoza, Ghermoza.
Like your pictures on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, wait, can I use my name? Ghermoza.
I like that it's the Twitter, but it's not the Instagram. I'm Markeia McCarty. Hit me up on the Twitter or the Instagram at Markeia McCarty. They'll spell it at the bottom of the screen for you.
Well, George just has Instagram on the brain because I posted a photo of him and I in our Team Bella and Brie Mode shirts. And Brie Bella totally liked and commented.
Did she like your picture too?
We are pretty good.
She liked
both.
it and she commented?
I'm pretty sure she did, yeah.
So she took the time to not only just double tap on the thing or maybe just single tap the heart, but actually put 3 emojis.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's right. Kissy faces. I think they were for George.
Well,
Ooh, George.
Right.
Look
well,
at you.
I was the one that had the Brie Mode shirt on.
That's true. That's true. Well, we also have in the booth our producer, James. James, please say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you. I always forget to introduce you, but you are super important too. And we want you to chime in just like our chat roll is doing, if I can get them rolling. Well, I can't, so let's start out with Dean Ambrose, who kind of limps his way into the ring on this one. He is not feeling so hot. He talks about this heavyweight title match that he's going to have at Roadblock, and he's sort of questioning, like, what is going to be going down at WrestleMania 32? Who is going to be his opponent? More on that and believe that in just a few minutes. But he is interrupted by Kevin Owens, and he wants a match tonight. Dean Ambrose is like, let's do this. Do you guys want to see these two hash it out tonight?
Of course. Yeah. I wanted that to happen right then, but I knew they were going to make me wait for it. That's all right. It was worth the wait, so I like that. I like that Ambrose was good at stoking the fire.
Yeah, I mean we've seen them kind of have a nice little back and forth feud going on since even before the new year. Obviously they had a good last man standing match at Royal Rumble, and they always have a good time. Right? They always have a good time. They always have a good match whenever they are against each other.
Yeah. Well, I was sort of surprised by Ambrose wanting to get in the ring with Kevin Owens when he is so banged up. I feel like that is the last guy that I'd be like, come, hit me.
No, if anything, everybody else needs to stay away when he gets like that beat up, because then he gets closer and closer to like full-blown berserker mode. And once he enters that, everything will be decimated.
Berserker.
Berserker. And you kind of saw it with like Kevin Owens when he like rolled out of the ring. He made sure to take that belt with him because he wouldn't get it back if he left it. So
we know that for a fact.
Because especially with Dean Ambrose, I think last year, right before the ladder match at WrestleMania, that kind of belt was kind of going back and forth, and it usually did end up with Dean Ambrose. So yes, please don't leave your belt
nowhere
near Ambrose.
That or have gigantic presence anywhere near you, because then he'll just pop right out of him.
Well, a few guys who don't have some belts, so let's just throw them all in the ring together. The League of Nations comes out, and they are up against the Usos tonight. Yeah, and what is that? For our podcasters, George, please explain.
Well, I mean, if they watch SmackDown, but League of Nations, they do that little, like, they round up the troops or whatever that is that they're doing. Do that all the time. Like, I want to know what is the meaning of that.
Like, what are they rounding?
Yeah,
what are they rounding up?
Like, they come out to the ring, they do that. They, win a match, they do that.
I think it's an international call. They're rounding up everyone in every country to join the League of Nations.
Either that or it's like kids where they have like those little things that make noise.
That's what I feel when I watch them. I'm just like, they're just missing those things.
It's definitely a jubilant thing. So it's like, hey, yeah, we've got this.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a pretty good match. Sheamus and Jay are up first. Rusev comes in, gives him a little trouble as well. Sheamus comes back and suplexes Jay, and Jay with a DDT to Rusev, and then the tag with a turnaround, and one of the Usos flies over the top rope. That was the point at which I sort of lost twinnage, should we say.
Well, Jay had the red tights on, and Jimmy had the yellow ones.
Okay. Thank you, Markeia.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thoughts on this match,
I think which one is Naomi's? That's Jay, right?
Jay, yes.
Jay usually has the pain on the right side of his face. And then Jimmy usually has it on the left side of his face. Wait. Yeah.
Well, I should have kept track by whose shirt got completely annihilated and almost torn off tonight.
Yeah? Sorry, somebody asked me on the chat, where is my belt? And I just forgot my belt again.
Oh,
but it's okay.
I
win all the time anyways. So,
my goodness.
So, I'll have it on the next one.
But that's just all the more reason why you should remember to drag your belt in here with you.
I just noticed him.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know who this is?
What do you actually have with you tonight, George?
This is a Tyson Tomko action figure. Made in 2005 or 2004, I believe. Tyson Tomko. If anybody remembers who he is.
He
No?
has
Nothing?
very, very impressive and extensive ink.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like the sexy tats.
Really? You think it's sexy?
I mean, yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, he could lose the goatee, but,
Okay.
he didn't have
Well,
that the
that's a
whole time
tattoo,
anyway,
actually.
did he?
That's a tattoo on his chin.
Oh, it's one of those 3D tattoos.
Oh, then it's sexy.
Huh?
Then it's sexy.
Is Tomko still in jail or no?
Wow.
I don't think so. I just remember when he came back for another tryout, and then he showed up completely out of shape. And then they're like, no, thank you.
Oh, no.
Braden Walker, that-ish.
There's the live chat. I got it rolling. Yes, Naomi is with Jimmy, not Jay. Oh, you know what? Thank you, Alex P. What it is that on Total Divas, they called him by his real name, which is John.
Yeah.
And both Jay and like Jimmy and John, like those are all names that people call people whose names are like John and Jimmy and Jay. So that's why we have a hard time keeping it straight. Thank you to our chat roll.
Yeah. It was interesting with the Dudley Boys coming out. They've got a real thing against the Usos. It's like, what do you have against them,
Well,
Dudley
yeah,
Boys?
seriously.
It's like
No,
that.
because
they
had like
need
a
to stop with
tables
those
match.
tables. They
Yeah.
need to stop with the tables. Because they're attempting with the tables now, and they're like, no, we're not going to do the tables. I'm like, man, you need to stop.
Listen, when you have a shtick, you stick with it.
Yes.
Right?
It's like, I want tables now. Oh, they're frustrating my want so well, but I want the tables now. They need to stop.
I mean, I kind of like this feud. I mean, I just like where you have this feud. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the belts. Doesn't have to be about the titles. It's like we can still have feuds just with about two teams or two people that just don't like each other, and it culminating into a pay-per-view match.
Yeah, who was yelling the modified commandments as per the Dudley Boys into his face. Was like, okay, y'all need help. I will continue watching.
Well, and the Dudley Boys can't quite decide. They say no tables, and they bring out tables, and they're like, oh, we're liars. Oh, we're not. We're people use tables. No, we're not. Sort of
What
like.
do they eat dinner on then? What do you think they eat dinner on?
Oh, they don't have any tables in their house. They've broken all of those.
Good point.
I think
They eat on the
No
floor
tables
Japanese
there.
style.
either that or I think they flip cups over and then just put a plate on a cup, and that way it doesn't hit the floor.
Reliving
You
your
think-
college days.
When they order
Yeah, seriously.
pizza to go and they get the little table in the middle of the pizza, so the cheese doesn't
But that's
stick
still
to
a
the box,
table.
do you think they freak out and like break those?
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't
they
you
would.
know we don't have tables?
No table zone.
Oh, I love it.
It's like
I
Mommy
love it.
Dearest, but with tables.
Aww. Get the hanger.
Well, next out, we have a match between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about because maybe you blinked and missed this one. There's a little controversy as to whether Ziggler backslides for a quick pin on The Miz, and there was some controversy as to whose pin was quicker, the one tonight or on Raw.
I feel like the one from Raw seemed quicker.
No, I think this one was quicker.
But really?
I don't know. It's
This
really
one was
close.
cooler.
It's really close. Yeah, this one was just because it was so much frenetic energy. Like when Miz was like, "I'm going after Dolph," because of course he sounds like that in my head. And then just this massive backfire that happened, which was so athletically beautiful. Actually, the way that they timed that, it was very nicely done.
Yeah, well choreographed.
Yeah.
It was like a dance, boys.
I'm kind of curious where they're actually going with this. Like, I don't think it's going to culminate into a match at WrestleMania.
Really?
Shortest in history if it did.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's gonna. I feel like they tease in some ways maybe them being involved in an Intercontinental title match on Raw. I personally don't want to see another multi-man Intercontinental title match on 2 consecutive WrestleManias, especially not for a ladder match.
That is what all the talk is, George.
I hope
that there
not.
will be a 6-man IC title match.
Oh, that was a heck of a match.
It was. It's like even like with even with like the title match. Like I don't want to see a multi-man title match. We saw that in the last 2 years. I don't want to see that, for the third year in a row.
We're talking about WWE, right? Come on.
I know.
George just doesn't like anything with a shtick. He doesn't like. You don't like the matches that have any sort of anything to them. You just want one man going up against one man for a regular old match.
It depends.
A boring match, George.
It depends. Like it's just I don't mind it, but I don't want to see it every year.
Brian Rice is saying WrestleMania, Miz versus Ziggler.
I don't know. I feel like if that happens, I feel like it's going to be like a pre-show match.
Well, that could happen. That could work. I mean, that could add some fuel to the fire and everything. They're both very charismatic, great wrestlers, and whether they do it super quick like this or not, I mean, it's still worth watching.
Yeah, they could fit in that and like a Stephen Amell match for the pre-show.
Yeah, and then like a bathroom break, popcorn
They wouldn't
break.
put Stephen Amell on the pre-show.
I think really. Everyone keeps telling me that, but I'm confident. I'm thinking that's what the pre-show match will be.
I just don't think they're gonna give this celebrity all this money, and it's just for them to have it on the pre-show. Even though, and technically, it's all on the network anyways.
Well, yeah, and for WrestleMania, it's not just the pre-show.
But at the same time, too, like the pre-show is like what you see for free on YouTube. You got to pay to see the other stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Well, I've said it so many times on air now that I can't take it back.
To speak with George's frustrations about this multiple man ladder match every year,
Yeah.
they should just have kept the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, because that would have been the multiple man ladder match that everyone wanted to see, and then everyone was hoping someone would win it in the first match and then cash it in the same night.
Right.
But now they've done away with it, and now is Money in the Bank still its own pay-per-view?
Yes.
Terrible.
Well, and I think they've built it up as its own pay-per-view so much at this point, it becomes such a storyline for months leading up to it that I doubt they would scrap it. But I do like the idea of it being back at WrestleMania.
Well, even so, like Hell in a Cell has its own pay-per-view, but they still have a Hell in a Cell match during WrestleMania. They did that for 28. They're doing that for 32. So.
Yeah.
So the precedent is there.
Yeah.
Well, one guy who's interesting and will definitely be bringing us some sort of entertainment at WrestleMania 32 is R-Truth. He is apologizing to Goldust. He sees the vision now. He's very upset that he may have, hurt Goldust's feelings, and he is all about the golden truth.
By the way, you wouldn't know about this, but that steak looked delicious.
That was the grayest, wettest, most disgusting piece of meat I think I've ever seen. And I worked at Saddle Ranch.
Oh, so never eating there. Ever.
Actually, the steaks are quite good at Saddle Ranch. Sidebar,
No,
Triple
screw
H.
those steaks.
Triple H,
No.
John Cena, and Great Khali were in once and had steaks while I was working.
Really?
Hey.
But anyway, back to real wrestling things.
But yeah, I like the title, Golden Truth.
Yeah. Do you guys
fantastic.
want to see
Works.
them team up together?
Sure. Let's see a culmination of all of this back and forth, this flirtation that they've been having with each other. So it's like, and now Goldust has turned it around, and he's like, no, reverse psychology. I'll take this out myself. Like, okay. Playing hard to get now.
Yeah, we could just watch them do that, actually.
Just go back and forth that way.
Yeah. Well, if these guys do end up in a tag match at WrestleMania, how do you guys see that culminating? Like who would be their opponents?
I feel like they would be on a pre-show match.
There you go. Maybe that's it.
But I mean, last year they had 2 pre-show matches. Maybe like a multi-team, maybe with like Golden Truth, Usos, Dudleys, and like one more team for like a #1 contendership for the belts or something.
Oh, that would work.
Yeah, with New Day, yeah, that would work. Well, obviously contender for New Day. So then,
or maybe Y2AJ.
Yeah, because I was thinking Y2AJ would be the one that they're really angling for with it. I'm hoping that they won't do it too soon, though. Let's have some more build up, especially since we didn't even have half of the team today.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, let's string that out a little bit more. So, but if we have something like what George was just saying. Yeah, I'd prefer that. Go ahead and do that and have Golden Truth in there. Look like they're going to win, and then, something happens.
Yeah.
Like usual.
Well, they can keep doing these segments up until WrestleMania. That's fine with me. Highly entertaining. Now let's talk about a little bit of Divas action. Tonight we had Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. In a really good match, these ladies are really trying to tell a story the last few weeks, and I thought they did a great job of that in this match. What do you guys think?
I thought this match was fantastic, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, all right. Tell us why,
Just to be honest with you,
Peter.
it was just great. Like back and forth, they were both wrestling for a cause. Obviously, it ended with them both going to WrestleMania, but you can easily tell like that they were. It wasn't just some worthless match like a Ziggler versus Miz. You know what I mean? It really was like back and forth, trying to outdo each other. They both know each other really well. And by the way, Ric Flair, like he's 67 years old. Like not even just because it's wrestling, because I think any other 67-year-old guy, but like only Ric Flair can do those things and not look crazy.
Yeah.
Like think of any other 60-year-old for goodness sakes, like in doing the things that Ric Flair does, and it's like, dude. Like it's okay because you're a Ric Flair, but
What? No, like 60-year-olds are pretty awesome.
Okay, 67-year-olds.
Okay, 67. Okay. They're pretty awesome, and he's like just being an awesome 67-year-old that happens to be the awesomeness that is Ric Flair too.
Yeah.
So it's like it's triple.
And I don't
layers of
see him
awesome.
stopping anytime soon. I feel he's going to be 77 in 10 years and still doing the same thing.
Woo! With the dance. Oh, I loved it.
Well, the beginning of this match, the crowd was chanting for both ladies, and then there was a wheelbarrow victory roll that I wanted to ask George about. This looked like it was sort of difficult to orchestrate, and it's not something we see very often.
Wheelbarrow victory roll?
That's what they were
barrel
calling
roll.
it. Yeah. Did I say it incorrectly? See, that's why I have to ask you about it.
But what are you talking about?
The victory barrel roll. It was when they were in the.
Towards the beginning.
It was after the knuckle lock when they were wrestling like that, and it was
He was
Sasha
probably
doing
texting.
it to
No,
Becky. He was probably playing his
on the
bubble
chat.
bobble game.
That's right. Oh, I'm on the chat right now.
Okay, someone in the chat will bring it up exactly.
All right,
Basically,
well,
when
never
you
mind.
go for a quesadilla and then the person tucks under their legs and they roll forward.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It
Okay,
was
see.
very
It was
well
really
executed.
cool. Yeah.
I mean, I was already paying attention to the match, but then they had me from that point on because it was just that good.
Benjamin Royer in the chat asking where is his daddy, Christian Rosenberg?
Oh my gosh, he's going to be so upset that I didn't even mention him.
Wait, how far are we in?
Right? Too far. Yeah. So
I'm gonna make sure to
Christian
text
Rosenberg and Scott Narver will return. I think. Well, Christian will be back next week. I'm not positive about Scott. Scott is doing a play, so tweet him your congratulations. And Christian is working on something really cool that I don't really know about. So they will return next week. Thank you for asking, because I would get in a lot of trouble if I did not mention them. So back to Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. Rick interferes, and then it sort of looks like Becky and Sasha are going to give him a little what for.
Yeah, they were about to gang up on Ric Flair. That would not have ended well for them.
No, not at least bit. But he has been getting all involved in all kinds of stuff lately with a lot of the Divas matches, and I feel like he maybe would have deserved a little something from those Divas, a little elbow or something, just a little something, just a little.
They're probably saving that for WrestleMania.
Oh, do you think it'll happen?
I think it will.
Ooh. Well, it's kind of a dangerous occupation being a manager or a valet, so
True that.
comes with the territory.
They wouldn't let pregnant Rosa Mendez do it.
No, you got it right the first time.
Who am I thinking about? Rosie Perez. I've been looking up all the
Rosie
old
Perez?
divas.
Rosie Perez or Eva Mendes.
maybe.
Perez?
Eva Mendes,
Eva Torres?
Eve Torres, I think that's what it is. I've
Eve
been looking
Torres.
up all the old divas, trying to get them on this show, trying to get them on the Total Divas after show. So I have all their names are all sort of the same, the fake names and the real names. It's not too much. But anyway, Charlotte is backstage after this match with Ric Flair, and who does she run into? None other than Renee Young. And she tries to school Renee a little bit and is like, oh, should I do your job for you? And Renee's like, I'm Nene and I got this, and let me tell you what's going on. And then she drops this piece of news that is so juicy and exclusive that she just found out, but it's something that we have all been speculating on literally for months since before Fastlane. That the Divas title match at WrestleMania will be a triple threat between Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte. What do you guys think about that? Is that something you'd look forward to?
Yeah, I think that's the most logical thing that could have happened with this. I mean, unless they're going to have something like a Money in the Bank for the Divas Championship, which I would
be so
love,
cool,
and
yes.
which I brought up on Raw, and I was having a Twitter conversation with someone about that. I'll look up that in a second. But it's like, if they had something like that, imagine you could get Naomi involved in there. Like they're going at it, the three of them. It's down to Sasha and Charlotte, or it's down to Becky and Sasha, and they're going for it. And then, looks like, they're about to, and then Naomi comes in and she's holding the case. They're like, what? That's right, I'm gonna get that butterfly belt. I mean, it's in my mind movie, it's fantastic.
I was gonna say, please hire Markeia as a writer, because we would all love to see that go down.
And I just say the things I love to see.
The chat roll is weighing in a little bit. The Andrea Beeler said that the ladies' match on Monday was the best of the night. Endorphin 79 says there's a small chance that the women will steal the show at WrestleMania. Ooh, I like that prediction.
It won't be the first time women have stole the show at WrestleMania.
That's true. Joseph Boza says he thought that Ric Flair was going to have a heart attack.
It won't be the first time he's had a heart
Charlotte's a
attack
scared
on
little
TV.
girl because she knows without daddy she is scared. Ooh.
Oh, she does. She does take her daddy everywhere, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. And Green Thunder called you out, George, for loving Renee Young.
Good.
I don't even think George likes her that much. I think he just says that stuff to annoy me.
No, I really like her that much.
Okay, he really does.
Saw her at Access last year. I'm like, man, she is gorgeous in person.
Oh, AJ0314 says Naomi's only facing the TV monitor at Mania, and I'm afraid that
That's kind of funny.
may be true.
That's
I
kinda funny.
hate to think about that, but I'm afraid that may be true. So that wraps up our Divas action for the evening. Now let's get into the New Day. They come out and they are talking all about Y2AJ. They're talking about Jello and miracles and how Xavier Woods is from Trash Atlanta, which I've never been to Atlanta, so I will not say anything disparaging
It's
about
a
the city.
specific part of Atlanta.
Okay, so not
what I
all of
gather.
Atlanta is Trash Atlanta. It's just one part.
Just Trash Atlanta.
Yeah.
That part.
Do we think that's the part that Xavier Woods is from, or no?
Maybe.
Probably. Well, this ends up with an AJ Styles versus Kofi Kingston match. Where is Chris Jericho? They said that you said...
They said something at the very beginning of the match where it was like, I don't know, Jericho saying, like, he gave a note to AJ Styles, they wouldn't be able to be there tonight or something like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to that because I was really looking forward to the match starting.
Because we do love AJ Styles.
Yeah,
And we do love the New Day.
The New Day. Oh, these guys.
I'm a little upset you weren't clapping with us when, you know.
Yeah, we
when
were
the
all
New Day came
into
out.
it.
I can't tell you how embarrassing it is to sit at AfterBuzz TV and watch SmackDown with George Hermoza. Okay?
He was
doing
standing
this, and he's clapping.
WWE
Give him some.
World
Give him
Tag
some. Can we get some of New Day
Team
music?
Champions.
Make George dance to it.
Or do the
Podcasters,
clap?
you're missing out
Come
on some
man.
major thrusting
I don't know
here.
you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed by me?
No, not really. I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
are.
fun.
Good. 'Cause I'm challenge accepted. Now I'm going to embarrass the living crap out of you next time.
Whenever you want to play some New Day music, let's
And I'm
dance.
still waiting for Bootios to come out.
Oh.
George wants to
always
start his day with
forget, I always
Bootios.
forget the catchphrase. Don't make sure you ain't booty.
How are you not a just actual member of the New Day, George?
Oh, that'd be. You know what's funny? I don't even own any New Day merchandise.
Really?
Although
There's
they
so
had
much
that-
to choose from.
They had that red jacket for like $25 on sale. I was
really?
gonna get it.
I feel like that'd look good on you.
That would look good on me.
That and a unicorn horn.
Ooh. Yeah.
Well, this match gets underway, and at one point, AJ takes out Xavier Woods on the outside. Kofi retaliates, and then a little while later, Kofi gets up on the top rope. I really liked this little spot, and attempts something, and AJ Styles, with a towering back body drop, totally shuts him down. And then there was some sort of Japanese move that I'm not going to attempt to...
I can't repeat it ever. And it's funny because I was looking at so Mauro Ranallo says the move, and he even said, like, oh, that's the move that he brought over from Japan.
Yeah.
And then we had subtitles on, like, ooh. Nope, they totally skipped that word.
They weren't even going to try. Closed caption was like, nope. Nope, not happening.
Yeah, somebody was not on point on the closed caption tonight, because when Charlotte went after the ladies for looking like they were going to attack Ric Flair, the caption was like, oh, Charlotte was scared for her cat instead of scared for her dad. Or like, attack the cat.
What?
It's not a cat, it's their dad. I know! I was watching the closed captioning very closely. Anyway, so Xavier actually tries to help AJ Styles. That was another one they did. They said AJ Lee in the caption instead of AJ Styles, and I was like, how would that even happen?
Yeah, never mind.
Freudian slip.
I know, right? So it looks like he's trying to help him up, but he's probably not really trying to help him up.
Well, he was lightly pulling him over. He had the trombone in the other hand, and he was looking at the ref like, what? No, what? No, nothing.
You were buying it? The innocent act?
Nothing.
Well, he didn't even do anything.
He didn't do anything.
He was just helping him up.
Nothing.
He didn't do anything.
He was on his side
I'm
of the
on
ring.
Xavier's side on this one.
There was
He
like
didn't do
no
anything.
You guys are calling
he
an
could've-
unjustified DQ?
No, he could have at least like gotten a hit in with the trombone or something. But no, there was no reason to eject them. Besides, it was a really great distraction.
Yeah, right? Well, AJ takes this one kind of legitimately anyway, comes out with an elbow, and wins, and then he scampers away. In like a really sort of cute young boy sort of way.
They were going to jump him.
Well, yeah, but he could take all three of them.
That was
Come on.
half-hearted. If they wanted him, they would have gotten him.
I don't know.
That was half-hearted. They were smiling. They were like, "What? I can't believe what? No."
Do we think that AJ Styles could take the whole New Day?
No,
No?
not all. of
Biggie's
them.
huge.
Yeah,
That is
Biggie
true.
would just kind of sit on him, and then Trouble in Paradise is to his head by Kofi.
Yes.
And then Xavier's got a feather at the feet. Nah, it's just he's done.
Disaster.
Or he just has a trombone.
Oh,
doing it in time.
Well, the chat roll are praying that they will see Morrow on commentary at WrestleMania.
I do think that he's going to do Roadblock.
I think he is too.
I think he's going to do
should.
Roadblock entirely. Mm-hmm. And I think he'll do the pre-show at Mania.
Pre-show for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just judging by what we saw at the last pay-per-view. I am just checking in with the chat roll here. Joseph Boza says he hopes Y2 AJ wins. Claire shouting out Francesca the trombone. And Green Thunder said Xavier was innocent.
Yes.
Innocent.
Yes, he was.
By the way, I tweeted Xavier. He still hasn't answered my challenge for Street Fighter V. So anybody, in the chat room, reach out to Xavier. Say, hey, the challenge is still on.
You want to be on
Street
Up, Up,
Fighter
Down, Down,
V.
or what?
Sure.
Well, George, let me tell you about a little game that you can play. We bring the show to you all for free, and we want to tell you about a cool promo that we have going on thanks to DraftKings. So, martial arts fans, listen up. The only thing more exciting than watching MMA is being part of the action yourself. And you get to do just that with one-day fantasy for every major fight card at DraftKings.com. DraftKings is America's favorite one-day fantasy sports site. You could win huge prizes every time you play. Just pick 5 fighters, pile up the points, outscore the competition, and be crowned Fantasy MMA Champion. You can have a belt for that too, George. Square off against friends in a custom league or join an existing one. You already know the fighters and you follow all the matches. Now put your MMA knowledge to the test for a shot to win big. You guys, this is not fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com right now. Use promo code TAPOUT and play for free with your first deposit. That is promo code TAPOUT for free now, only at DraftKings.com. Thank you, DraftKings.com.
I think I still have credit for DraftKings.
Well, there you go, George.
You should use it then. Use it or lose it.
You know almost
you
as
don't
much
lose it.
about MMA as you do about
never lose it?
WWE, right?
Well, not in DraftKings. What's up?
You know almost as much about MMA as you do about WWE, right? So it's
yeah, I mean, not as much, but
It's like
I know a
Ric
lot.
Flair mojo.
Something like
Never
that.
lose it.
well, someone who definitely has a lot of mojo is Mr. Bray Wyatt, especially when he gets on the mic and starts talking all about this scary beast with like 1 million heads and some all kinds of crazy stuff. And he's just basically addressing Brock Lesnar, and this was probably just a pre-tape thing to remind us all that Bray Wyatt still exists, right?
Yeah, I liked his promo on Monday though.
Better than this one tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I don't know. It wasn't dialed in because Bray doesn't dial anything in. But I remember thinking, wow, this is interesting production value. And it's like, that's weird because everything's just basically in his face anyway.
I would
know,
love
it just- I don't
now
know.
that they have a match at Roadblock. I would love to see, obviously on Monday, for Bray to have like an in-ring promo and for Paul Heyman to come out.
Oh,
Kind of curious how maybe they would go back and forth, you know?
Yes, the match for Roadblock was officially announced today, and that is why he was addressing Brock Lesnar. And also, another cool little piece of news, we found that the Fabulous Freebirds, which my autocorrect changed to the Fabulous Freebies, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame
About time.
at WrestleMania 32. Yeah!
I think a lot of people were upset that they haven't been in already. But the fact that it's in Dallas is kind of like a full circle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's where obviously their legendary feud with the Von Erichs.
Kevin Von Erich has to introduce them, right?
Either that or I heard they were going to bring in Terry Gordy's kid. And someone else has a kid too.
Jesse?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe they can reunite Jesse and Festus. I heard he's going to be in town. I hope so.
I'm just glad that this can put end to the conversation of that they should be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So they'll just be there now and everyone can stop talking about it. Right?
And then it's going to be, well, when is Demolition going to be inducted, damn it?
Well, on that note, you all, I'd like to pick your brains a little bit. Let's do a little bit of Believe That.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to break down a current wrestling rumor for you, one that I have found on the dirt sheets, as Christian Rosenberg likes to call them. You guys are going to tell me if you believe that or not. I actually made a fun little intro with Roman Reigns music and him saying believe that, but it's not the right format. So we'll have that next week. And now I present to you this rumor, guys. Allegedly, if Roman Reigns is not ready for WrestleMania 32, which it's borderline with the recovery time from his recent nasal surgery, deviated septum and a couple other things, he is looking at 1 full month for recovery, so it's a little questionable. And if he is not ready, allegedly Ambrose will win the heavyweight title from Triple H next week at Roadblock. And then it will be Amber Lesnar for the no-holds-barred street fight in a main event for the title at WrestleMania.
Nope.
And I'm
No.
totally buying this one.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Really? Oh, I thought you guys were going to be like, yes, genius, sounds good. Of
Nope.
course, that's what's going to happen.
Nope.
No.
Chat
By
roll,
the way,
what
we're
do you guys
exactly
think?
1 month away from WrestleMania.
We are, so that would make Roman Reigns
days.
questionable. And he does have a match at Roadblock with Sheamus, but that could be scrapped quite easily.
I don't believe it at all. I think there's so much that they. I mean, first off, it'd be a fatal 4-way, but I think they already have everything set in stone.
Yeah, but what if he can't? What if he's not healed?
He'll be healed.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a hamstring or a knee. You know, it's just his nose. He'll be there. Worst case scenario, they have to do something like a Miz and Ziggler thing with him,
But
or
I
a
do.
DQ. Or
But I do like
something.
Ambrose kind of acknowledging that. Not so much that if he can't be there, but you know where it's like, hey. We're gonna act like if I beat Triple H, hey, what can happen? Like the fact that he's putting that in people's heads, you know, whether it's he'll because Roman Reigns is still the #1 contender. He still won that triple threat match at Fastlane to go on to the main event of WrestleMania. So that would probably make the most sense and in all fairness in terms of storyline. But yeah, him and Brock's got a feud. I mean, Triple H can maybe say, hey, I want my rematch at WrestleMania. So I don't know, should be a fun event to watch next Saturday.
The chat roll is shooting me down hard also. Christian Rosenberg's son, Benjamin Royer. Hi, Ben. I wasn't here when you were here, but hello. He said, nope. Green Thunder said, sorry, Christy, it's not going to happen. Thank you for being kind, though, Green Thunder. Joey Moda says, so much nope. Andrea Beeler, no. Nope, Vince doesn't have that much faith in Dean. Ooh, that's what Alex P thinks. Brian Rice says, Roman will never. Nope,
Yeah.
we'll
So,
never, ever. Nope,
yeah.
they
We
don't
will
believe
not-
it.
we
Man, I
will-
thought this was like a total like a.
We will not believe that.
Not this time.
All right, well, I digress. Let's move on to this evening's main event on SmackDown. Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. This was a good match.
This is a very good match.
Yeah?
Yeah.
do you guys think?
I did enjoy the Diva match more, but then that was my own
I
personal.
thought that Divas match was great.
It was
like, I
fantastic.
really, really liked that Divas match.
Yeah, this one was a very solid one to end on, though.
Right, so
Yeah.
we're saying the Divas should have been the main event for the evening, huh?
Wouldn't have minded it.
Yeah,
But then,
I
but
think
then
it would have been cool.
I like instant gratification. I could have had this match at the very beginning when they were teasing at it. So that's just me. Other people like build up. So, but this was a good match.
I mean, they did kind of
was-
keep a streak of like whenever Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens have some form of physicality, they always go toward the announce table. Mm-hmm. Every single time.
That poor announcer's
Yeah,
table.
well, yeah, and Kevin Owens like actually sort of got into it with Morrow tonight and was like going back and forth, which is something that I sort of wish that they would do more often because him doing it made me realize that it's weird that they don't. That the commentary table is sitting right there. They can hear what they're saying. They're within physical what is the word I'm trying to say?
Proximity?
Like, yes. And they're right there. And it's like half the time Kevin Owens is ripping up their table anyway. Like they should be reacting to what the commentators are saying, right?
I don't think they can hear them.
Yeah, I think it's all in there. You know, we can hear them. but
Yeah.
I think the
it's not
crowd's so
like-
loud and they have to pay attention for so many. I don't think they
Well,
think they
Kevin
can really
Owens
hear.
can hear them.
Well, he's just a bully that always picks because he always picks on Michael Cole too.
Right.
So he's just a bully.
So
but
this
it's funny
isn't
though.
going to happen more often.
It is. It's just-
No
it's
one's
just
going to
funny.
stop in the middle of their match and be like, "Hey, Michael Cole, what are you talking about?"
Well, they can always just assume that they're talking smack, you know, and what the person would be like, no, I didn't say anything. Prove it. They can't. They can't prove it. Can't prove a negative. Or, I'm sorry, prove a... Wait, what is it? It's like, can't prove
I
a
don't
false
know.
positive.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It's fine.
You helped me with that proximity thing. I'd like to help you right now, but I can't. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll think of it later.
Well, I kind of hate the idea that this feud between Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens has to sort of subside now because, you know, Ambrose is going up against Triple H and there's that whole thing going on. I could watch these guys continue to go at it for a while.
Although one of your believe that should have been the big rumor is Sami Zayn's gonna in some ways be involved in a Kevin Owens match at
Let's
WrestleMania.
discuss that. That has been quite a rumor.
So
That would be
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that they finally pull the trigger on his just being on the main roster full time. I mean, I really think he's done everything he can on NXT. Like, what is really there left to do? So, it just to me, this is one of those feuds where you can, whether it's now or 2 years or 4 years or 10 years, this feud will work. Mm-hmm. You know, we've seen that with like Rock and Triple H, where they'll wrestle each other in '97 for the Intercontinental title. Then a year later, they'll be wrestling each other when it's DX against the Nation. Then 3 years later, wrestling each other against, you know, when it's, you know, The Rock against the Corporation. I think this feud is just a feud that you can just have. It's like for the next 5-10 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did read those Sami Zayn rumors online, but it's not to believe that because there was no details or anything. It just seems like everyone is hoping that he'll be there. So they're saying like, yeah, Sami Zayn is definitely going to come up by then and be part of WrestleMania, maybe for that match. It's like
more like wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking.
As opposed to wishful fact.
Yeah. Although it would be great, and it does need to happen. There's also been a lot of talk that Enzo and Cass will come up before WrestleMania and maybe even could have a tag match at Roadblock.
Well, they're already having a tag match at Roadblock, but for the
it's confirmed.
for
I'm
the
sorry.
NXT titles. But I do see them. Actually, I see them losing, but I think they're going to end up debuting the day after Mania.
Ooh.
Yes, that has been widely reported. Yes. Well, do you guys have anything you'd like to add about the tonight's main event?
Yeah, it was great. Like it was, you know, like I said, these two have great chemistry together. I'm sure they both have a similar coming up in terms of, you know, being on the indie scene. So I feel like everybody who's kind of gone that route as far as, you know, the indie scene kind of has this unspoken bond with each other, not just bond, just like this agreement that they just go balls to the wall, whether it's 2 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes. And I feel like whenever you pit two indie guys, I hate to call them just indie guys, but whenever you do them indie guys, I don't know, it's always like a good match.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like an unspoken agreement that it's like we are exactly where we have been working to get to all of our lives. So there's no dialing this in ever. Mm-hmm. And it's like you completely respect that. You respect that, and you see it on screen. With like the match, I mean, I love the back and forth. I love that it had build. Like when I think one of my favorite moments was when Ambrose was in the corner, up on the ropes with Kevin Owens right there, and they're trading shots. Kevin Owens rips off his bandage and starts hitting him in his wound, and then he hits him in the head. And it's like, this is great. This is great physical storytelling. You know, it's build, and yeah, it's like you guys are professionals, but you make me feel like it's not all decided, it's not all settled, it's not all fluid, and it's organic and it's gorgeous.
I remember like Chris Jericho would always talk about him and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio and Dean Malenko, that like whenever they had a match together, whether it was on WCW or whatnot, just nothing's off the table. Like, laid in me, we're all friends, we just want to make it better for everybody to watch. We want to make it look as real as possible, and just I feel like all these guys, Ambrose, Rollins when he's around, Cesaro when he was around, Owens, like all these guys that kind of come up with the Ring of Honor and the Dragon Gate, whatnot, it's like, or the PWG, that they all just, who cares? Just lay it on me, no hard feelings, it'll make it better for the business,
And it's something that you definitely see with the divas that came up from NXT, like we were saying, with Becky and Sasha. It is there, and there's a high bar, and that bar is set, and you see other people rising up to that bar. So I'm excited to see some more of the other divas that we haven't seen in a little bit.
Yes.
Like, Paige again. Haven't seen her in a little bit. Now let's see, because maybe they're training, maybe because that bar has been raised, and we're going to see something spectacular coming out of people that were not bad at all, but
maybe they needed that challenge.
Exactly, they needed to be like, oh, okay, this is what I can do this, like Lana, when she showed up on Raw, and like, okay, she's looking like she's filling out that suit very nicely. Maybe she's been training, maybe they're gonna get her in the ring. So I don't know, it's I love that they've had this infusion of all this new hot, angry, thirsty, incredible talent to like rejuvenate WWE.
Yeah.
It's a really great time to be watching.
For sure. Yeah, it hasn't escaped me that all the divas involved in the Divas match at WrestleMania just came up to the main roster. Like, this is their first big WrestleMania. I know they were carrying the heads or whatever for Triple H, right? Was that a year or two ago?
Yeah, WrestleMania 30. Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah. But I mean, none of the divas that we know extremely well on the main roster are there, and they're really getting this chance. And I sort of forgot where I was going with that, so never mind.
I mean, I thought the same thing too. Where like just 1 year
Brie
ago.
and Lana. Sorry. Shh. Lana has training videos on YouTube of her like pounding the punching bag and the whole thing, and talking about like, I will never give up and I will keep working to be better and this and that. So it sounds like she really is training to get in the ring.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Okay, George, go ahead.
No, I was saying just 1 year ago, like these girls weren't even on WWE TV. Even like when they came out for Triple H's entrance, that they were just essentially extras. But now it's like literally, I mean, and a great part, one of my favorite parts of the Sasha and Becky match was you can literally hear not one or two people, but literally it felt like the whole crowd chanting, "Let's go Sasha, let's go Becky," like back and forth over and over again. So for them to have this kind of spotlight and platform, and I know everybody rags on Paige a lot, but she got very emotional even last year at WrestleMania during her first WrestleMania. Like, you can see tears when she's coming out, her.
I mean, that's a huge milestone.
So for them to be legitimate like wrestling fans growing up, not just some like model who got signed because they got saw in the catalog, but these are girls that live, breathe, and died wrestling since they were young.
Blood,
so for
sweat, and tears.
so for them to have this opportunity to be at a WrestleMania stage for the title match, dude, they really deserve it. Even though they've been on the roster for less than a year, they've been at this for their whole lives.
And those three ladies have been a huge part of the Divas revolution. Let's just be real. Well, the chat roll was speculating on whether Carmella would come up with Enzo and Cass. Speaking of
at first,
Divas.
I said no, but it feels like that they are. I know they were on the main roster on the road with the main roster this past weekend, and Carmella was there. So I guess it's one of my things about NXT, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong about this. It's just that I feel that when they bring up guys from NXT or girls, that they assume that everybody knows who they are. So that's why they kind of brought in Emma and Adam Rose and Bo Dallas, and they kind of like fizzled out because everybody just kind of like, you're throwing this at them, but we don't know who they are.
Well,
like,
he's a
introduce
social
us.
outcast now.
Yeah, now because of that. But yeah, so I'm just hoping that they introduce them, but also like not assume that everybody doesn't know who they are, but also kind of introduce them at the same time. Because Raw and SmackDown obviously is a much bigger audience than the NXT crowd. So
Right.
different crowds too. Like you don't see the same kind of crowd reactions at a typical example is NXT Brooklyn and SummerSlam. Two completely, and the Raw the next day, completely different crowds.
It's true.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was reading what the chat roll was saying. You are so.
I'm going to
right.
chime in here real quick.
Please do.
And wonder what happened with AJ and Owens, and that Owens throwing AJ out of the Rumble, and we thought, oh, maybe this is gonna be the feud, and then they put AJ with Jericho right away, which was like a fan's dream match within his first Raw, and now AJ's stuck in a tag team for some reason with a really terrible T-shirt, and I don't know. I was really hoping that if Zayn's gonna fight Owens, then that's cool. I'd much rather that, but I'd rather AJ versus Owens than AJ in a tag team for sure.
So you're not liking Y2 AJ? And you don't think that
it's
would
a
help?
waste.
Yeah, but you don't think that would help build him with crowds that aren't aware of AJ Styles? I mean, I think everybody should be aware of AJ Styles, but it's a very real possibility that they're not, but they do know Jericho. So you don't think that helps him up some?
I mean,
until they eventually break that?
You just need to let him go out and be him. He doesn't need Jericho. If anything, that's going to hold him back. I get where you're coming from. Like, I am gonna hold off on any further much opinion until Monday and see what happens with that match. Because I thought the same thing, but I'm also thinking AJ, with all due respect to AJ Styles, he's only been there for 2 months. And I know he's been there for years, or been wrestling for years, but he's only been there for 2 months, and there's still time for more stuff. You know what I mean? There's still WrestleMania 33. That's the problem, though. This whole there's time for more stuff after Daniel Bryan. Never again would I waste time with anybody.
Exactly.
Ever again. So that mentality needs to get thrown out.
No, I agree. I agree. At the same time, too, it's
it's been 2 months.
Yeah, I mean,
the same time,
but I mean, initially too, I thought this initially when I thought it was going to be AJ and Jericho against New Day at WrestleMania, which it still might be. You never know.
I think they would do that.
And I think New Day is probably the best act on WWE today. So for AJ Styles to be in the same match as probably the best group in WWE and best act, I'm like,
to basically be going
up
for
a bad thing to be in that spot at Mania
championship, right?
Yeah.
Well, might be.
But I mean, essentially, I do agree with the whole Daniel Bryan thing, but God forbid it doesn't happen. There's still SummerSlam in Brooklyn. I'm sure he's going to be. I guarantee he'll have a high level match at SummerSlam Brooklyn.
Well, speaking of Daniel Bryan, the chat roll was wondering if the Brie Bella Lana thing will be dragged out to WrestleMania or if it'll be a roadblock match. Maybe that's your WrestleMania pre-show.
There are a lot of matches, potential matches. And I like this. But my biggest concern is that they'll all just be, mushed together in some multi-team match or multi-person or some Andre the Giant or maybe Fabulous Moolah. Divas Battle Royal,
Yeah.
Which would, by the way, that's my idea. At some point, they're gonna have a Fabulous Moolah Divas Battle Royal.
You think so?
At some point, they will.
Could be all right.
That would be pretty cool to have Brie standing in the ring and doing some talk of something other, whatever, and then Lana comes out and be in her Russian accent, I'm sick of your words.
Yes.
And then she just rips off the jacket. She's wearing a unitard or something underneath it and in the heels, and then she just throws those off and she goes to town on Brie. It's yeah, that'd be great. And that doesn't even have to be part of the lineup. That's just something really fun.
I like it. I would love the idea. Obviously, this would never happen in a million years, but I would love the idea of Rusev and Daniel Bryan acting as valets and proudly carting their women out to the ring and a big girl power moment where they go to the sidelines. I know that'll never happen, but it would sure be cute.
Well, they kind of did that with Natalya and her husband.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Kinda.
And he's still mad about those Natty's husband chants, so maybe that's not such a good idea. Well, guys, do you have anything that you would like to add about tonight's SmackDown or the road to WrestleMania? The bumpy road to WrestleMania?
What's called the roadblock to WrestleMania.
Yes, but Dean Ambrose said we're on the road to WrestleMania and it's a bumpy one.
Because it's a roadblock.
Oh, jeez.
You say cheese?
I feel no, I said jeez.
Jeez.
But I feel like we could play these word games all evening, George.
Really? Okay.
Although I'm positive that no one wants to listen to it.
Roadblock?
Road. I remember that guy.
Oh.
That guy was ugly. If you want to go random WCW, you know, there's always Big Ron Stud, who also played the Yeti. Not to be confused with
I was
Josh.
gonna say, we have a Yeti now.
You know, from Tough Enough. Who
apparently was embroiled in a cheating scandal that we're going to find out on the next episode.
That's what somebody from the chat room said. It was like, oh, well, Josh. And I was like, I don't know. I can't wait for that specific episode, to be honest with you. But that's for the Total Divas After Show. But for SmackDown...
Right. Well, George, if you want to talk to you about Total Divas or SmackDown or WrestleMania...
Or just anything in general, you know? WWE 2K16, you know, PlayStation 4... You know, The Simpsons, South Park, which, by the way, I was watching the South Park episode called WTF. Do you guys ever see that episode?
Yes, of course.
That was a funny episode.
Some of us cover South Park here at AfterBuzz TV, George.
It was an episode where pretty much they try to be all professional wrestlers.
Oh,
so it started off with like John
such a
Cena and
great one.
Edge, and then Vince McMahon comes in and sees them.
So good, right?
You've
never seen that one?
You know what's funny? Like, I didn't see that episode when it first came out. It was probably like years afterwards.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's a good episode.
Okay, so if you guys want to talk to me about anything, Twitter or look at my pictures, that's at Markeia McCarty. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. And if you like live comedy, this Tuesday, March 8th, in Hollywood at the Pack Theater, I'll be in Big Yellow Taxi. It's Taxi Cab Confessions meets Improv. And that'll be at 8 p.m. That's a free show. And then if you want to pay to see me, on March 12th, that Saturday, I'll be in Doctor Who Live, which is an improvised episode of Doctor Who, never before seen, never to be seen again. And that'll be at 10 p.m. at iOS.
Oh, wow. You can follow me on G Hermoza. If you want to like me on Facebook, you know, you can like all my statuses because I'm hilarious. You can also like all my pictures on Instagram by double tapping those pictures. You can retweet my tweets at G Hermoza, GHERMOZA. And what about you, Christy?
Well, I do want to say that you are worth paying to go see girls. So I encourage everybody to do that.
Christy has been to my shows.
And if you would like to comment on my Instagram photos, just like the Brie Bella did, you can do that at Christy Reports. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Christy Reports. I have a lot of new, good, juicy, fun stuff for you there, and I really appreciate it.
You're trying to get to those 10 million subscribers like
That's
WWE
right.
did.
That's right. Help me, please. Y'all are following. Y'all are subscribing to WWE. Subscribe to me, too. And subscribe to AfterBuzz TV at youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Christian and Scott will be back. For myself, Markeia, and George Hermoza, we will see you next time. Have a good week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.